We are in Shiur number 71, Shaar Aleph, Perek Yudalad, in the middle. Some huge chiddush here, besides for the chiddush in Nefesh Hachaim and Machshava, there's chiddush in Halacha, as I'll show you. But here he says as follows. Remember, we're talking about, the Perek Yudalad talks about the Machshava, Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Machshava, Dibur, Maisa. We're talking about the chelik of a Machshava of a mitzvah or an avera. And Machshava, just to review, I think is normally viewed as a concept which is intertwined with Maisa. What's the difference? You know, as they say in Yiddish, Amal was a mensch trach. He's thinking. So he's thinking, he's fantasizing as the Yetzer Hara, so what? If you do something wrong, so then there's a difference between a meditated sin, premeditated sin, or an unmeditated sin that we understand. But first you need to have a Maisa, and the Maisa has to have some Machshava. The Machshava itself, no. That's the way we've been learning. That's the way we always think. The emes is, says the Nefesh Hachaim, that that's not true. That just like there are different olamos in Shamayim, there's the world of Bria, there's the world of Yitzira, there's the world that we live in called the world of Asiya. So the different parts of an Aveira are pogame in the different worlds that exist. So if you do an Aveira Lamaisa, kill someone, you talk Lashon Hara about someone, so then that's a pagam in the world of Maisa, for sure. If you do a machshava, you do an avera b'machshava, so then you haven't done anything in the world of Asiya, you haven't done anything wrong, nobody died. As mayesh. From a scientific point of view, you don't put a person to jail for thinking wrong thoughts or bad thoughts. You would think it was permitted to fantasize in one's heart of a sin. Like really to sit and think about, going over your mind 100 times about how you're going to kill somebody. As long as you don't kill the guy. You know, I believe, I'm not a lawyer, but I believe even if you shoot the guy and you miss, where you mamish done a maisa, nevertheless you still haven't killed somebody. Attempted murder is not murder. So you need a maisa. That's in secular world. In halachic world, they're independent concepts. If a person does an avera with kavana, so now you've done two things wrong. You've done something wrong in the world of Maisa, and you've done something wrong in the world of Machshava. To put it on a more Kabbalistic level, you've violated and created a pagam in the world of Asiya, and you've also created a pagam in the world of Bria, whereas Machshava comes from the world of Neshama. Machshava is Keneged Neshama. This you'll see is extremely important in understanding Torah, but also in our actual practical behavior.
And in the Olam Yitzira, there's no cheshbon?
Yitzira is no cheshbon because Yitzira is where things happen. It's like a pipe. Yitzira is where the malachim take things up and bring things down. So says the Nefesh Hachaim to start off with, Va'af shekol olam shuhu yoser gavoya v'nela even though, and here he's saying even a deeper chiddush, when you get to the world of Bria, are you really, if we're talking about what's going on in Shamayim, are you really hurting anything? Are you really damaging anything with an Avera? So you would think that's a pristine world. It's a perfect world. It's like saying you're damaging God. You can't damage God. God is God. So how do you damage the world of Bria? What do you
can't even damage on the show.
Oh, which is the world of Bria. So he says, understand this. The higher up you get in the world of Olamais, you really can't do that much damage. Im kol zeh, nevertheless, anshay gadol yoser, you get even a bigger onesh for a machshava of an avera, yoser, kol mi shemamuna l'taher, ki mi shemahu mamuna l'taher l'tzachzeach kisrei shel melech, because he whose job it is to polish the crown of the king, im hisher alav afilu avak muat levad, if he leaves just a drop of dust on it, ein aroich v'dimyan la'onshay, you can't compare his onesh la'onesh ha'mamuna l'nakos chatzar ha'melech to the janitor who's sweeping the chatzar ha'melech, avim hisher einiach b'toichai harbe refesh v'tit, even if he leaves a pile of dirt. So it's true that a machshava ra only creates a piece of dust in the world of Bria. But that's a piece of dust on the Keser Shel Melech. That's a piece of dust in a very, very bad place. It's like, I don't have to give a mashal, that is a mashal. But I'm just thinking that, if your hands are dirty when you're brushing your teeth, so probably you're not going to die. If a brain surgeon's hands are dirty while he's doing brain surgery, you may die. It's because you can't be madama avak cotton in this world to an avak cotton in the world of machshava. V'lachein rabu mishpatei Hashem emes b'shinui chilukei ho'anoshim lein kates. Therefore, two people doing an avera, they might be doing the same avera, but depending on what the machshava is that went with the avera, you're going to have a different effect. You're going to have a different effect in the olam of Shemayim. L'kol echa k'vi madregas ha'pegam b'shorish nisma. So it all depends, as Eitan Yehuda says, on what kind of neshama you have. Dehainu, where your neshama came from. Me'eza olam chutzava, and from what world. Some people's neshama comes from the world of Yetzirah. Some people's neshama comes from the world of Bria. There's different sharish and neshama. We discussed this. So different sharish and neshama means that your neshama is not really here. The controls might be here, but the neshama is there. And depending on where the there is something going wrong there just by machshava levad. So again, machshava and maisa are independent concepts, and that's what's important for us to learn here. Let me explain to you what the significance of this is. The Rambam says in Shmona Prakim, the Rambam says that Shmona Prakim Perek Vav. I have the lashon here. The Rambam says as follows: if a person fantasizes about doing an avera and doesn't actually do the avera, you just like to think about it, which, by the way, is part of the problem with watching, let's say, improper movies and things like that, because what it does is it creates a hero avera, even if it never comes to an avera. Is that okay? He's innocent. He's innocent, but he's not innocent, because the hero itself is making a pagam in a higher world. So says the Rambam, even though he actually never did the avera, mipnei, there's a person, he says, shechukase l'ra, if a person wants to do ra, person wishes he could do ra, he tchuna ra ben nefesh. That's already called a tchuna ra ben nefesh. V'karoi rasha, and he's called the rasha. Af al pi shloi asa, even though he didn't do it. He brings psukim. V'lechein mavur b'divreihem, says the Rambam, and you see in Chazal, hirhure avera kashim b'chol ha'averas. That hirhure avera, the lashon of the Gemara, having hirhurim of an avera, sinning in our hearts, sinning in our mind, is actually worse than the avera itself.
Is it the same thing, the heart? Is that the same thing as a hero?
It's a hero. Hero takes levavchem, yeah. Levavchem. Machshavas halev. Machshavas halev. Now,
why is it worse?
Because you're being pogam. Well, the Rambam says it's worse because it's a character fault. And it's all about character faults anyways. That's how the Rambam learns. The Rambam is learning that I'm not as good of a person if I think all day about killing somebody as a person who doesn't think about, who thinks all day about helping someone. So it's true that technically speaking, he didn't do anything wrong, but he did something wrong in the world of his heart, or in the world of Bria, or in the world which the Rambam doesn't talk about, or the world of Machshava. Let me explain this further, because what you're asking is very important, and this to me this is very important information here. Person does enough air. Let's talk about the worst case scenario. Is there hot water there? If there is, okay, that's broken.
No, I can get hot water.
Just a drop. Just.
Oh, is it there?
Thank you very much. Just hot water. Let me explain something here. Let's say a person, let's just take a radical Avera just because it makes it easier to understand, not that we're holding there. That way nobody thinks I'm looking at them. Thank you. Let's say he kills somebody. Now, I killed somebody. And then I do tshuva. So you don't unkill the guy, right? He's still dead. Do more tshuva, he's still dead. Tshuva me'ava, he's still dead. So, but yet we know you can do tshuva on any avera. So what does the tshuva do? So listen carefully. Tshuva does nothing in the world of Asiya. That's not what tshuva is about. Tshuva works in the world of neshama, and tshuva works in the world of my heart. So in Rambam language, when I do tshuva, I was masaking myself. I didn't fix the story. I didn't fix the situation that I created. Even if you insult somebody, and even if he's moichel you, so you went through all the steps of tshuva, it doesn't mean that you didn't do damage. Could be you did damage, could be you did lifelong damage. Or it could be it takes at least, as I mentioned, a number of months to process the mechila. So you really haven't fixed that because tshuva is not about the world of Asiya. Are you with me on this? This is an extremely important point. I know it's not Erev Yom Kippur, but let's understand it now before the holiday rush. That tshuva is not about fixing the Avera. Tshuva is about fixing the neshama. And therefore, I'm not undoing what I'm doing. Therefore, even if a person does tshuva gemura, if they killed somebody, b'mezid, does tshuva gemura. However, there's an X-ray tshuva machine, and the Sanhedrin knows that he did tshuva gemura, they still kill him. So everybody asks, what are you killing him for? Did tshuva? Don't you believe in tshuva? Tshuva, that's good for you in the olam ha'elyon. That's going to work for your neshama. That's going to work for your olam haba. That's going to work in the world of bria. Here, you killed the guy. So since you killed the guy, it's not that we don't believe you did tshuva. We're glad you did tshuva. In fact, the Sanhedrin tells the person to do tshuva. Do tshuva. And it's not that we don't believe you that you did tshuva. It's just that the tshuva doesn't unfix what we need to fix right now. Just so you understand what happens over here, the arba misas basted or whatever oilish a person gets, God forbid, in this world, that's being misaken more basically the olam of Asiya. In order to be misaken the olam of Bria, you need to do tshuva. There's no onesh that's going to help. That's why the Rabbeinu Yonah says in Shari Tshuva that even if a person has Yisurim, God forbid, but you're sitting in the dentist chair and Yisurim. Yisurim are b'chaper averis. Only if you have kavanah to do tshuva with it. Doesn't work otherwise. You just get more Yisurim until you wake up. And the reason is very pashut. Because the dentist is fixing your tooth, he's not fixing your heart. And the only thing that's going to fix my heart is my kavanah, my machshava. So therefore, says Rabbi Yonah Shar Tshuva, if I have machshava and kavanah to be misake and avera in the shamayim, so that the yisurim are being mechaper averas. So it's important whenever you have yisurim, you shouldn't have yisurim. But if you do have yisurim, you have kavanah, says Rabbi Yonah, because it's working in a different world. Again, an independent concept. The pagam that one does in the oil of Asiya, arba misas based, it will take care of. But it won't make the person alive, nor will nothing will make the arba misas based. Doesn't make the person alive either. You did a pagam. So since you did a pagam, that you have to get an onesh. Now, what about the pagam that I made in the Olam Abriya? For that, tshuva helps, and that's what's important. For the same reason, Rabbi Yaakov, just give me a second. For the same reason, the Rambam says clearly that if I do an avera only b'machshava, no ma'isa involved, aval pisha ein oynish klal, says the Rambam. There's no oynish at all. No oynish. Nobody even knows. Right?
Does it have nothing to do with there?
Nevertheless, right, nothing to do with this world. Nevertheless, nikra Russia. So, whoa, I'm a Russia. Now, now nobody knows I'm a Russia.
Here or there?
Well, everywhere. But nobody knows I'm a Russia unless I make an announcement. So that everyone should know. I was Bahar. So the Rambam says, when we say, this is such a new shot. Hirhure Avera Kasha Me'Avera means that what the damage that I've done in the world of Bria, the world of Neshama, through my Hirhurim is Kasha Me'Avera. It's even worse than the damage that I've done here. So if a person kills someone and has no remorse, no tshuva, now you've done a lot of damage in this world. You killed the Tzelem Elikim, but you've done even more damage in the Olam Asel Yoidim. In the words of the Zohar, you know how the luchos are, you know, one connected one, 5 on one side, 5 on the other side. That Elohecha Hashem Elokecha is parallel to Loi Sirtzach. That means that if a person Loi Sirtzach, you're violating the Elohecha Hashem Elokecha. The first commandment. It's the 6th commandment violates the first commandment, and it's fascinating to go through all 5 and 5 that way. But what we need to understand is that Hirhure Avera Kasha Me'Avera. What happens if there's no Avera? Still Hirhure Avera Kasha Me'Avera. The Haidu that you're called a Russia. Comes out another chiddush that what does tshuva accomplish? Tshuva accomplishes something in the world of Elyon. So I want to say, Yaakov Haber wants to say Nafshat in a Gemara. Famous Gemara, maybe one of the most quoted Gemaras. The Gemara says that Hamakadosh Isha, we like the visualization here. If Hamakadosh Isha, a Rasha Gabor, comes and he's Makadosh an Isha, and he's madly in love, so he says, okay, I'll be a tzaddik. Not only I'll be a tzaddik, I am a tzaddik. I'll be Nashani tzaddik Gabor, Choshesh L'Kedushin, says the Gemara. Afal Pishu Russia Gabor, you just killed somebody. You just killed somebody. Why? Dilba Hirher B'tshuva. Listen to the words. Dilba Hirher B'tshuva. Maybe it was Bahar B'tshuva. Okay, so a minute ago you were a Russian, now you're a tzaddik. All the Rishonim and Achronim ask, what is this Gemara speaking about? How could it be? Tshuva is a process. Did he say vidui? Did he get the Yodesh that he's supposed to get? Did he ask Mechila for people that he hurt? If he killed somebody, did he ask Mechila from the family? How in 1 second do you do tshuva? What? Dilma here or b'tshuva? So I'm here to tell you that he didn't do tshuva. It doesn't say that he did tshuva. It doesn't say that his tshuva was accepted. All it says is that he's married, possibly. Why? Dilba hear her b'tshuva, and even the hearer of tshuva, without all the other elements of tshuva, accomplishes something. What does it accomplish? That I'm no longer called a Russia. Because tshuva accomplishes that I'm not a Russia. Just like a hearer Avera without an Avera makes me a Russia, as you said, up there, and even down here, even though I didn't do anything wrong, I'm still a Russia just for thinking. So it comes out, and tshuva, we said, takes care of what's going on up there, and not necessarily what's going on down here. It's just that you have to ask mechila from somebody in order to begin to do tshuva in Shamayim. But l'chaper al nafshei seichem is in Shamayim. So it comes out that tshuva takes care of the hearer of tshuva, I should say, takes care of what's going on in the Shamayim. So if that's true, in Shamayim I'm called a Russia for my hearer, but now I undid that hearer by hearer tshuva. So now that I undid that hearer by hearer tshuva, I'm no longer a Russia. Says the Gemara, Choshesh L'Kedushin.
Is his hearer directed towards his Avera, or just, I want to be a tzaddik?
Okay, either way. No, you have to undo what you did wrong. What you did wrong was a machshava, I have a machshava tov now.
Takes more than 1 second, though.
For the
Why? Why does it take more than a second? Yesh koyded lambai b'shah achas.
Just an hour.
B'shah achas, 1 second.
Moments.
B'shah.
Moments.
Yeah, they
So
were
his,
talking
so
about
his hearer does have to be directed at undoing the Avera. I
But
want
yeah.
to undo the Avera.
they undoing what made me into a Russia.
If someone kills somebody and he does tshuva in this world, why is there no inyan of tikkun in this world itself? Even though he can't bring the guy back to life, when he kills somebody, he's gone by Kodesh Baruch Hu. Everyone has an Hashem as part of Hashem in it. So even though he can't bring a person back to life, he should be like tshuva does some sort of thing in this world also.
Maybe it does do something.
Not just
Maybe it does do something, but it doesn't undo what you did.
right, but there's.
I'm not saying it doesn't do.
there's a-
I didn't say it doesn't do anything. I'm just saying it doesn't. Look, if you ask somebody forgiveness, it also undoes something, but it doesn't fix it. Just because he gave you mechila, but it does something. You see, what the Rabbeinu Yoina in Shaar Tshuva that I mentioned points out that Tshuva always does something in this world, but it doesn't. It's not masakin the whole thing. But what it is masakin is it takes me from the classification of Russia to tzaddik. So we have a new pshat in the Gemara that you can l'chora answer all the questions with, because I didn't say that I didn't say even that I'm about tshuva. I didn't say that I didn't do an avera. I didn't say that I don't have to take care of that avera. I'm not even saying that I'm not going to be chayiv misa. But marry me, because my hearer of tshuva, just like hearer avera, kashim avera, you see that it's an independent concept. So hearer tshuva is the antidote to hearer avera, just like hearer avera makes me into a Russia. Hearer tshuva will take me out of being a Russia, and hence we have a beautiful shot in the Gemara. Yes.
If it's possible, just to tighten it up a little bit, many kinds of machshavos, daydreams, walking down the street, I heard somebody say something, actively trying to avoid something, and yet it comes in front of my face anyway. And so all these thoughts do enter our consciousness.
Correct.
What kind of machshavos are we talking about?
I believe we're talking about all kinds of machshavos, but they're not all created equal. A true tzaddik is going to be shomer every machshava, which is a hard thing to do. It's very hard to shomer baisa. It's even harder to be shomer dibur. It's even harder to be shomer machshava. Well, elayim is machshava, right? So that causes machshava. But obviously it's not all equal. But let's just say the main two categorizations that we're talking about here is hearer and machshava. Machshava is planning to do an avera, whether you actually did the avera or not. Hearer is fantasizing about the avera, going through the avera mind. Those are two active thoughts. I'm not walking down the street thinking, wow, I heard that or I saw that. It's two active thoughts. A person can fantasize an avera, meaning like you can do things in your mind, which is what there's a psychological term for it. You can do things in your mind, which makes your body think you actually had the experience, even though you didn't have the experience. You know, like virtual reality experience. So it's virtual. It's not reality, but it's virtual reality. So that's an active sin of the mind. And then there's another kind of a thing, and these are the two main categories that we're talking about, halacha, which is machshava ra. Machshava ra is I planned to do an avera, but I miss. Didn't work out for me. I tried to eat treif. I really tried to eat treif. Well, Yatzali, the guy turned me kosher. Did you? But that's a machshava. I didn't do l'maisa anything to machshava. Both of those things, the Rambam brings, that's why I say those two things. The Rambam brings a Shvayda Barak, both of those in Yonah. And both of those in Yonah, he says that af al pi, she'ein loy oynish, in this world, he's still called a Rasha. So to this I'm saying that tshuva in general only to zuf, an akiris haratzai, Ad Shiurim says the Rambam, Edi Oiso Ish Shechita. I'm not the same person. It's not that I didn't do the Haber, but Edi Oiso Ish Shechita. I'm a different person. It's a character growth. Tshuva is about character growth. It's not about undoing the things that I did. Now, sometimes you can't begin to get character growth until you undo the things that you've done. But it's the damage was done. The damage was done to a great extent. What do you say, Chaim?
So, if the Rambam says that you have to be in a similar situation and not do the Avera to do Tshuva, so we assume that first your desire is no longer there, and that's why that shows you that you know.
Right, you're a different person, changed man. I'm a changed man, but it doesn't mean that the last time I was in the French Riviera I was a tzaddik. It just means that right now I'm not called a Rush anymore because I was Oker the Ratzon. I said that was slow to you.
When the Gemara says that certain areas like Kehillat Shivtei Yeshurun and Kapara and Yom Misa, which world? They're talking about which world Kapara is talking.
Why doesn't he have a kapara?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I mean, why doesn't tshuva? Why? Let's ask the question in a broader way. Why does tshuva not help for everything? So the pashut of pshat is, until today we're learning, well, you made a Chilul Hashem, you can't undo the Chilul Hashem. But now we're not talking about undoing the Chilul Hashem. But the Chilul Hashem apparently is pogeh Chilul Hashem. Think about it. The words even. It's pogeh so many different I said it's so deep into the Shabbat, a person does a Chilul Hashem, it's worse than murder. Because murder you can't do tshuva, Chilul Hashem you can't do. So apparently that pegam, if it's true, you can't do tshuva. I think the Rabbi Yoda says you can't do tshuva.
Tshuva and kapara.
Ain't must speak if you don't ask tshuva, you won't do tshuva because you.
Unless you split between Tshuva and Kapara.
Let me say something else. The kasha that the Acharonim asked, most notably the Noda B'Yehuda, asked that two questions really. How do you jive? And we've been talking about this. The concept of Hirhure Avera Kashin Me Avera with the concept of Machshava Ra Lo Mitzaref L'Maisa. And the second kasha the Noda B'Yehuda asks in his Yom Kippur drasha, Shabbat Shuvah drasha, the second kasha he asks is, what is this lashon altogether? Machshava Ra Lo Mitzaref L'Maisa. Why doesn't it just say simple Machshava Ra Edo Klum? We already know most of the answer to this, but that's his question, and I just want to speak it out. You know, we all say Machshava Ra Lo Mitzaref L'Maisa. None of us understand what that means, Lo Mitzaref L'Maisa, but we're in denial about it. What is it? Just the way Chazal talk.
We also say Machshava K'maisa if it's a good thing, which is
Machshava Tov Mitzaref L'Maisa.
That's so.
Good. Mitzaref Machshava L'Maisa. The lashon of Chazal is so meduyak. Machshava Mitzaref L'Maisa or not Mitzaref L'Maisa. Machshava is in the world of Bria. Maisa is in the world of Asiya. Is there a tziruf or is there not? Connection. Tziruf means you take two things and you weld them together. That's what a tzaref does, yeah? So, tziruf, machshava, so Chazal put down a yisai. On the one hand, hirhure avera, kasha me avera. What you've done in Yanervelt is worse than an avera. On the other hand, lo mitzaref l'maisa, it doesn't attach itself to any maisa. That's all.
Because it can't intrinsically.
It doesn't. I'm sure it's not about this world. It's about the next world. So therefore, lo mitzaref l'maisa. In other words, the pashut yishuv of that stira is the difference between machshava and here, because here hura aver kasha is not talking about this world. Why? Because machshava ra lo mitzaref l'maisa. It doesn't connect to the world of Asiya L'Maisa. L'Maisa, I didn't do anything. L'Maisa, no, I didn't kill anybody. L'Maisa, did I kill somebody? No. So it's not Mitzaref L'Maisa. But the Machshava Ra is an independent concept. If you'll separate it from the Maisa, goes into the category of Hirhure Avera, that's Kasha Me'avera. So it's a simple answer to the Noda B'Yehuda's two questions, which he says.
What about the Machshava Ra and he does the Maisa, doesn't it combine?
Machshava Ra is Mitzaref is L'Maisa, Machshava Ra if he does the Maisa. We're talking about a Machshava Ra without a Maisa.
What about Machshava Tov?
Now again, let's review this. Machshava Tov is a good question. What about if he does tshuva? So according to what we're saying, he was Masaki the Olam of Machshava, not completely or necessarily Masaki the Olam of Maisa. This is like complicated lumdus, but it's kedai to understand how the whole thing works.
If someone does an avera, though, the Maisa can't be without a machshava, right? So to say it's
Avera can't be without a machshava.
That's the machshava is worse. As you get kasha Maisa. Maisa includes the machshava also.
Yeah, so, maybe. What if you do it b'shogeg?
Okay,
do b'shogeg.
But it is possible.
So let's understand something. You do an avera b'shogeg. So what's the yibachal javas b'shogeg? What do you have to do? Korban chatos. What does it require? I didn't do anything wrong. The answer is I didn't realize it was being Michal Shabbos. So the answer is, you didn't do anything wrong in this world. I should say, you didn't do anything wrong in the world of Machshava. You're a shogeg. But you did do something wrong in this world, you were Mechal Shabbos. So we have a special carbon for you.
So is the carbon like killing the person? Like the one of the upper Mises facing like
It's like a carbon. So a carbon takes care of the lamaisa part of it. A person brings a carbon without doing tshuva. Could be he did nothing. Could be he did something. Could be he was misaken if he actually gave something up. Could be he was misaken in this world with the carbon. That's all the carbon does. So understand karbanos here. Karbanos, the whole Seder Kachim of karbanos, is all about being misaken in the world of Asiya and the Maisa that I'm doing. But why do I have to do tshuva? Bring in carbon. Why do I have to do tshuva? So that would be like having Yisurim without kavanah. Sitting in the dentist chair with no kavanah. A Russia sitting in the dentist chair doesn't do anything for him except that he's in pain.
So Yom Kippur in the time of the Beis Hamikdash where we were passive. It's not like
Why?
today.
We brought a Sayer.
Right, but I mean,
So
people
that took
stand
care of our
around
mice. So
and-
the main thing of Yom Kippur is l'tayr lifnei Hashem titaru, l'chaper al nafshi seichem. So let me just say another lumdus here for a second. So if I do an avera b'shogeg, and I mentioned this before, this is an important thing for everybody who is a choser b'tshuva. So l'chora for years and years and years and years, it's possible that you were mechal Shabbos b'shogeg. Again, I don't mean you, but one was Mechal Shabbos b'shogeg. So you have to bring a carbon. Or you have to bring a carbon. Chatas, as the Shulchan Aruch says. If you're Mechal Shabbos b'shogeg, you have to bring a carbon. If you, let's say you did it 10 million times, every time you moved muksa b'shogeg, so you have to bring a carbon. So you didn't know Hilchas Shabbos, you have to bring a carbon, even if you're from Kal v'chomer. If you don't know Hilchas Shabbos, you didn't realize I've been playing with muksa the whole time. Talk about a drabanan even. So you have to bring lots of karbanos. The poskim say already, the early poskim tashbetz, they say that you have to bring one carbon for every one carbon chatos for every Shabbos you were machal, not for every malach on every Shabbos. I don't know where they got that from, but it's cheaper anyway.
That's by Omer Mutter probably because it's Behel Mechad. So it was.
What's Behel Mechad? I went for 32 years. What's Behel Mechad?
No, each Shabbos was Behel Mechad.
Okay, so it was one Shabbos, like one Shabbos. That's something like that goes along. Today you don't bring karbanos. The Shulchan Aruch says you have to bring the shavius of a he goat, about $75. So
fundraiser for the shul.
absolutely. You're talking about 75
That's a good thing.
No, cholapachos, you have to make
He's raised from,
attachment.
that's not fair. Just put it on the rest of us.
For people have to get more. Bear has this. Bear's basic.
Doesn't reading Carbonis, isn't that considered like you're bringing it, that the dibur now of the
Money. Money, you have to give the Shavuot. It says in Shulchan Aruch. I'm not making this up. I'll for you. Yeah, the Shulchan Aruch says you have to bring the amount of money for every Shabbos you're a machal. So you let's figure out how many Shabbosim you're a machal Shabbos b'shogeg, and it's $75 a pop.
From the age of 13.
Doesn't work for the future. You can't say I'll give $75. I can be machal Shabbos this week. But for the past, that's misak in the oilam of Maisa. I tell you a story. A woman came just a couple of weeks ago. A woman came to speak to me, from woman, and she came to ask me a shiloh about her business. I don't want to get into details, but she came to ask me about a shiloh of her business. How does she work it on Shabbos? This is what she's been doing. She maybe needs, her husband says maybe needs a tikkun. Is not doing 100% right on Shabbos. So I told her you're being. I thought about it. I said, I have news for you. You are being mechalel Shabbos. It's not like you need a tikkun. You have been mechalel Shabbos here for the last couple of years. As being in a state of denial, she continued to talk as if I didn't say that. Okay, but how am I mistaken? I said, no. Let's get clear. You're talking about Chilul Shabbos. It was a clear Lachara Chilul Shabbos. So when it sunk in, what do? What you do for the future is easy. You stop. You do something. What you do for the past. So the answer is that you give a he goat. for every Shabbos that you messed up. That's the din. That's the din. I don't know any great heter. Who do you give it to? So look, I don't make fun of me. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that it goes to the Bedek Habayis.
I wasn't that far.
Not the big one, the better.
No, it definitely goes to the building. Yeah, because no question. To get those Averas going here.
Not electronic counter.
You need another strip up there. Yeah. Show gang. Okay. No, Rabbi Hashem, but all of this is to be misaking the oilam of Asiya. Let me tell you another, just a little lumdus to explain it more. The halacha is, the Gemara says mefurish that if you eat matzah shel tevel, you're not makayim the mitzvah of matzah. Why? Matzah shel tevel.
Mitzvah Baba.
Mitzvah ba'aver. So mitzvah haba ba'aver. Can't do a mitzvah by doing an aver. So mitzvah haba, so eat matzah shel tevel, garnish keton. Rambam says in Pirush Mishnayos on that Mishnah, matzah shel tevel, not only makayim, ain't a mitzvah. Not this is a mitzvah ba'aver, not a mitzvah. Comes Tosfos and he says, it's an interesting cheshbon. Tosfos says, let's say a person didn't want to eat the matzah shel tevel. I don't want to eat matzah shel tevel. Somebody's offering you matzah shel tevel. Somebody's offering you matzah. Here's matzah. It's Pesach have matzah. No, matzah's not kosher. I don't want to eat the matzah. Eat the matzah. Right? We may have all been in this situation. I bought special matzah. Eat it. I don't want to eat it. Tachvay lebeis habliya. You stuff it down the guy's throat. Like this is the ultimate height in. All right, I don't want to say. Tachvay lebeis habliya. The Gemara has a scenario. You force it down the guy's throat. Right, food. Like you use one of those things for a food grinder. Tachvay lebeis habliya. Comes Tosfos says a cheshbon like this. That I want to eat matzah. I just don't want to eat treif matzah. On the fact that the matzah was treif, so I'm an oinus. I didn't eat it purposely, deliberately. So now that I'm an oinus, there's no more avera of tevel. Comes out, I ate matzah and I'm a kind of mitzvah.
Can you say that again?
How do you, it is
You didn't even
I'll
want
tell you why
it.
it's achila.
You didn't even want it.
You didn't wash?
Then you didn't even want the matzah.
It's not true, he did want.
He didn't want to eat treif matzah.
Right.
He wants to eat matzah. He
He
just
had
don't
to run
want
in his heart that he wanted to have some.
So the onus gets rid of the fact that you forced it down my throat. You forced. Okay, let's say it is achila. You took a gun to my head, and said, "Eat this matzah, or I'm going to kill you." I don't want to eat it. It's matzah shtam. I'm going to kill you. So the halach is what? Eat the matzah. For sure, you eat the matzah. So now I'm an onus on the avera. So now you have a mitzvah and avera combined, which is called mitzvah ababa avera.
It's not more.
Dal mehachi the avera, because the avera is ba'inus, and I'm left with the mitzvah.
So you close your eyes and you imagine I really wanted it, and I'm going to make believe, have a kavanah, this was real good matzah. Like
What does that help?
if you
It's a mitzvah ababa avera.
No, but I'm saying forcing it down your throat, and you really wanted to have kosher matzah. So like you have two guys. One guy doesn't want matzah at all.
Right.
He doesn't get them. But the guy who really wanted the good matzah, he gets the mitzvah.
He gets a mitzvah.
He's got the problem.
Meaning this Tosfos can only be possible if you'll perform the exercise of the Nefesh Hachaim and divide the machshava from the ma'aseh. Because at the end I ate matzah shel tevel. In machshava, what did I do? In machshava I ate matzah, and l'maaseh I didn't eat tevel because whenever I do something b'oinus, it's not called a ma'aseh.
What is that true? It's still tevel. I didn't do an avera. That's true. We dropped the avera. It's still tevel.
It's not tevel because oinus rachman apatri.
You're right, but you still ate.
It's not din of tevel.
But is it a
It's not a mitzias of tevel. It's a din of tevel.
It doesn't mitzvahs on the din. It's tevel.
Tevel doesn't change the mitzias. It's not like
It's mitzvahs.
you're learning that an avera is something intrinsically in the item.
The tevel is. You should say part of it.
Yecholiyot shalom. And tevel in particular, it's not in the tevel. It's not in the teva hadvar.
Let's say it was a gun that was stolen.
also not in the Teva Dvarim. If you ate something which was not, you ate chazer.
Okay, so Chazan.
Right. Let's just. So what Taisus is learning, you can argue. But what Taisus is learning is that I have a mitzvah without an avera. Again, my machshava is to do a mitzvah. So I'm accomplishing something in the world of machshava. Even if Eitan Yehuda is correct and it remains an avera, I'm still accomplishing something in the world of machshava. So this guy's Kollel Bais HaTalmud, you're forcing me, so I say, 1 second, let me make a bracha.
Also, shogeg.
It's called, this is a real matzah umaror together.
Also, shogeg is onus.
That's an onus.
Also,
Shogeg is different.
Why
Shogeg is
is shogeg different? Shogeg is also, I want to do mitzvah. I don't know.
because you know what you're doing. You're doing a real maisa. You're doing complete maisa.
I don't know what's tevel. I want to.
There's another madrega called mizasik. So mizasik is I don't even know I'm doing something. There's supposed to be 3 madregas here in my kavanah. There's a madrega of shogeg. I made a mistake. I did it, but I made a mistake. Killed somebody by mistake. It was a mistake. Shogeg. Then there's a onus. He forced me to kill him. And then there's misasik. I didn't realize I was killing somebody. I was just pushing buttons. A misasik. So the halacha is that misasik is the least amount of participation. Ones is a little bit more participation. And shogeg is participation, but participation by accident. So you have here 3 madregas. Here's a very interesting, one more interesting lamdas, and we'll call it a day. Misasek b'chalavim v'haraya is chayiv. Misasek, where I have 0 participation, but we're talking about specifically in arayas or chaylev. So you're eating a really treif steak or a real treif woman. So in both of these cases, even if I'm misasik, I'm not sure how that gets done, but misasik.
I don't even know what I'm saying.
Misasik, yeah. I didn't even know I was eating. I didn't know I was eating. Not that I didn't know I was eating treif. I didn't know I was eating. What?
You're not engaged in active eating, but maybe you were sleeping.
Yeah, like you're taking Ambien and you eat in the middle of the night. You know, like.
Because you lick your finger out while you do something else.
Misasik, whatever, misasik, whatever. So misasik, yes. So misasik. I don't even know that I'm eating, and I'm eating mamish treif, but the halach is that you're chayiv. Why am I chayiv? Shekei nene, says the Gemara. So the Lamdonim say, Rabbi Haber, Shimon Shkop, those that genre of Lamdonim. So they say that you see from here that Hana makes a maisa into a maisa. And Lule Divrei Kacham say no. Hana is a level of machshava. And Misasik B'chalavim V'arayus means that true that your maisa was not involved because you're Misasik. But but Hana is part of the brain, no? I mean Hana is part of the brain. So since Hana is part of the brain, my machshava did do something. So chayiv. Chayiv what? That's the question in the Gemara. But in other words, that's not for our discussion right now. A misasek v'chalavim v'arayis chayav, because there's so much hana from the chalavim v'arayis shekei nehene. So therefore, what? I'm still misasek. I didn't do anything wrong. I was misasek. Somebody's walking on a golf course on Shabbos and pulls out grass with his shoes. That's misasek. I didn't know I was pulling out grass. I'm misasek, probably not chayiv unless it's a makom that But that pashat Shabbos, I'm not chayiv for such a thing. There's no hana. What hana am I getting from pulling out the grass? It's not a. But misasek, on the other hand, if misasek b'chalavim v'arayos, so there is hana, means that there is some participation in the world of machshava. So if there's participation in the world of machshava, there is some pigam going on in the world of machshava. Now, I'm not saying, or nobody is saying, that this is the same aver as a guy who's going bedafka and being oisik and chalav v'arayis. Obviously, that's worse. And the Nefesh Hachaim is going to say on Sunday that you can't compare 2 people doing the exact same avera. They're having 2 completely different einshim. You know, I'll tell you the famous risque story of Rabbi Chaim Volozhin. So Rabbi Chaim Volozhin, who we learned a lot about. So there's a famous story about 2 bachrim that he shouldn't have taken in to his yeshiva, and the Yetzer Hara got to them, and they went and they did an avera, arayos. They went to do the Averas Harayis, and this came to the knowledge of Rabbi Hanan. He has to expel them from the yeshiva. So Rabbi Hanan called each one in, and said, okay, it's a hurry, and Avera, I couldn't resist, blah, blah, blah. He called the other one in, and he said, I didn't do an Avera. I didn't do an Avera. I did it in such a way. She went to the mikveh. Shiva Nakiyim, like the whole Zach. And, I would never do something like that. I would never do the kind of Avera that the Rosh was talking about. So person A, person B. So Rabbi Hanan threw out the second guy and then threw out the first guy. Because you do an Avera Takva Yitzray, okay, we need to work on that. Work on Yitzhar. There's no hope for you. When you could start making cheshbonos. Now, what's the omek of this story? The omek of the story is machshava. Who put in more machshava? The second one put in more machshava. Who did less of an avera? The first one. The second one did less of an avera. So here you have a hechatimsa of pachot avera, yoser machshava. You're the worst guy. Sakar Rabbuchanu Wasser. You're the worst guy. You did a terrible ma'isa, but there's really no machshava. Takva Yitzray. There's no machshava. Of course there's machshava, but it's not the same level of machshava of somebody who said and planned this for 7 days. You can make the phone call. Did you make a hafsek It's an absurd story, right? But it's a lamdisha story. So the lamdin is out. The lamdin's out. Go to some other yeshiva. We don't say it to the lamdin.
Where'd he go?
Move to make shemesh.
So somebody who has to fill it, found not to be kosher, so there's something they work.
He has what?
He has